Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who rejected a marriage proposal. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I found out my ex was cheating on me and immediately broke it off with him. The next day he showed up on my doorstep in the snow crying. When I went outside, he got on one knee and presented me with a heart-shaped ring. I went back inside and baked cookies. It was a great decision, as I met my current boyfriend a few years later and he makes me truly happy. Oh my gosh, I love how she didn't care. She was like, bye-bye. I was 18 and found a job at a fish and chip shop to earn me some money before I left home for university. My family had been customers there all my life, and it had recently been bought by an Indian gentleman who owned a food such takeaways and installed his 20-year-old nephew there as the manager. So on my second shift, me and the nephew were just chatting during a lull, and he asked if I have a boyfriend. As it happens, I did, a long-distance relationship with a guy in Germany. He asked why I hadn't married him. I gave the obvious reason, that we lived in 2 different countries. Nephew seemed to think this was no big issue and we should get married anyway. I laughed it off. Then nephew asked if I thought he could meet a wife here in England. Well, sure, I said. But how, he asked. Well, you'll just have to go out and meet someone, I said. What is this question? Do you think I'll be able to get a wife? How will I get a wife? Then he asked if I'd marry him. I laughed again, but he was being deadly serious. I told him I was happily committed to my boyfriend and wouldn't marry someone I barely knew anyway. 3 shifts later, I was let go. No reason given. Oh, he must have been salty. Ex-boyfriend hit me up after 3 years of no contact. Out of the blue, asked for a lunch date to talk. We met, had awkward small talk, and after, when I thought he was driving me home, he took me back to our old high school football stadium. We would hang there when we dated, and he got down on his knee and begged for me back, and then pulls out a ring and asked me to marry him as well. I apologized and politely declined. I'd had a miscarriage when we were together, and he was absolutely terrible to me during. He told me it obviously wasn't his because his seed would have been stronger enough to survive, and I was lying. Every time I look at his face, I hear those words. What a jerk. What kind of reason is that? My seed is so strong, you would never miscarriage if that was my seed, so it's not my baby. I can't believe she still met up with him, honestly. We'd only been together for a few months, both military and stationed in Germany. I was about to deploy and my contract ended pretty much as soon as I was set to return. She said we should get married so we could stay together when I got back. I'd already been divorced at this point and wasn't about to marry some girl I'd only been with a few months. So I told her we'd see how we held up with me being deployed and cross that bridge when we came to it. About 2 months into my deployment, she and a friend of mine eloped. I was hurt, but boy did I dodge a bullet. Also, the marriage ended exactly how you'd expect. Divorced in less than 6 months. Yes. You dodged something. I was proposed to in 2013. He took me into the mountain with a little picnic of fruit and cheese. We looked at the stars and he brought a paper lantern to release. He didn't know you're supposed to do it over water so it can 1. Actually fly, and 2. Not land amongst the trees and start a forest fire. I had to tell him that it wouldn't work. Then he told me he wanted to spend his life with me and asked if I would marry him. I said no, because I was 17 and we were both fresh out of high school, and also I didn't even know he had a crush on me. Oh, so they aren't going out, they're just friends? He told me that any 2 righteous people can be happy together with the blessing of the Lord, regardless of initial attraction. I said big no and called a friend to pick me up. They weren't even dating. He just had a crush on her, and he asked her to marry him? That's a big no from me. He asked me in public, which he knew I hated the thought of. We had actually talked about wedding proposals a few weeks prior, and I had made it clear that I would never say yes to a proposal in public. He still felt it necessary to ask me at a concert of a band his friend was in. I said no. He didn't take it graciously, and I got a lot of hate from everyone who was literally around me. People were cussing me out for declining without even knowing my name. I broke up with him shortly afterwards because he didn't stop whining about me embarrassing him. This is why you should listen, okay? If someone tells you they don't want something, don't do it. He had no right to whine, okay? Like seriously, she told you she didn't want it and you still did it, so obviously you're gonna get a no. No one likes someone who doesn't listen to them, okay? Maybe he thought that proposing in public would get her to say yes. Because, you know, there's so much pressure on you. So sometimes people would just say yes for the sake of it, because they don't want to embarrass the partner, and then when they go home they'll be like, sorry, let's just take it slow. We had only been dating for about a month. He was pretty obsessive at first, but I thought maybe it would just be a phase, so I blew it off. One day he brought me to a jeweler's to get my ring size and I could pick out a ring. I also thought it was just a promise ring. No biggie. People do those kind of things early on as well. What got me was when he bought it, took me to a park, got down on one knee and said, I love you, baby. I knew I wanted to do this the moment we matched. You're the love of my life. Now I can show everyone that I own you. Will you marry me? Why did he have to say that? Why did he have to be like, now I can show everyone that I own you. You're now on a leash. That's honestly such a red flag. Now I can own you. Finally, say yes so I can own you. What the heck? He was gonna own me. I don't get offended easily, but saying owned really pissed me off. I helped him back up to his feet though, and we walked back to his car that he was currently living in, right down the street from my condo, so he could keep an eye on me. Oh. And I told him I wasn't going to marry him and that I thought it was best we should break up and move on. When a marriage proposal turns into a breakup, well... But honestly though, what the heck is he doing? Why is he living in his car just to spy on her? To keep an eye on her and to own her? Oh my gosh, what the heck? I'll be so pissed. He's living in his car just to see what she's doing? Oh my gosh. Trust. We need trust in a relationship, okay? A girl asked to marry me in 3rd grade. I said no. I don't have time for marriage. I need to play with my friends. She said okay. I went on to play with my friends. All things considered, I think that went well. She said okay. She was like, okay, you have a pretty good reason. How many kids make marriage promises? You know, I feel like a lot of them do. They're like, I'll marry you when I grow up. My mum turned down my dad's original proposal. My parents had been dating for roughly 3 months when they got pregnant with me. They had moved in together and things had been going well. My mum was making dinner and my dad was on his knees fixing the kitchen door, and out of nowhere he asked her to marry him. She thinks he's kidding and tells him he can't be serious. His exact line was, well, I'm already on my knees. He had married before but had been separated from his ex-wife for a number of years, but they were still technically married. So my mum told him he needed to get that figured out and propose in not such a dopey way. Oh, so he hadn't been divorced yet? Yeah, he should get it figured out first before proposing again. My mother had a sweetheart back in the 50s who got her name tattooed on his arm and then proposed. She turned him down. Last she heard, he had married someone with the same name as her. Oh my gosh, because, wait, don't tell me it's because of the tattoo. Can you imagine if he was only looking for the same name to date? Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that all worked out. That's okay. A beautiful woman who I loved with all my heart, and I still think about her almost every day. She asked me to marry her, but I was afraid and I said no. I still hear the way her voice broke when the word left my lips. It's my biggest regret in life. My whole life past my early 20s would be wildly different and probably for the better. I live each day with the choice I made. She's married now to a really great guy. They have 2 children and I talk to her once every several years. I'm in my mid-late 30s, single, never married, with a beautiful dog. And that memory never goes away though. I know I made the wrong choice. At least he's happy for her, you know. At least he knows that it was his mistake. Whew. That's kind of sad. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time.